Welcome to the configuration video of 802.1x on an EX4200 series switch. In this particular video we are going to see how we can go ahead and configure 802.1x on an EX4200 series switch. This is the case study which we are going to follow throughout this video. We need to configure 802.1x for authentication using the Radius server. EX4200 series is in this particular topology will be acting as an authenticator, which is basically a component of 802.1x. This particular host on the other side, which is basically a DHCP enabled host, is connected to GE0/0/22, and this particular port is going to be configured as 802.1x enabled port. We also have a DHCP as well as an authentication server, which is basically a Radius server. The IP address for this server is 1.1.1.1/24. Now, before going into the configuration area, let's go ahead and discuss the components for 802.1x. There are three major components for 802.1x. The first one is the supplicant. Now, what is basically a supplicant? Supplicant is a device which is actually trying to authenticate itself. The second component of 802.1x is the authenticator. Authenticator is the device which is actually forwarding the user credentials to the authentication server. And the third component for 802.1x is the authentication server itself. In this particular example, we are going to use the Radius as the authentication server. Let's go ahead and see how we can go ahead and configure the 802.1x protocol on EX4200 series switch. So this is the configuration area. Currently I am sitting at the shell prompt. From shell prompt I'll go to the CLI. From CLI I need to go to the configuration mode. In the configuration mode, the first step which I need to take here is I need to go to edit access hierarchy. In this particular hierarchy I will go ahead and configure my radius parameters. So set radius dash server is the command, and then you have to specify the IP address of your Radius server. Now, according to the case study, the IP address of the Radius server is 1.1.1.1. Then you have to specify the port number on which actually the Radius server is listening for the authentication request, 1812. Then you have to specify a secret key which is going to be used by the Radius server and the authenticator to encrypt the communication. So the secret key for this particular traffic is Juniper. Okay. After that, what we need to configure under the added access is we have to specify, or we have to create a profile. Set profile, give it a user defined name, my profile, and then specify the authentication order for this particular profile. Authentication order is only going to be the Radius. Okay. Then you need to specify that this profile will be using which Radius server. Set profile, my profile is the name of the profile, and Radius authentication server, and specify the IP address for the Radius server. So these were the steps which we need to configure under the added access hierarchy. Now we need to go to the edit protocols .1x authenticator hierarchy. Under this particular hierarchy we need to configure that this .1x protocol will be using which profile. So the profile which we have created under added access hierarchy, we need to associate that profile with 802.1x protocol. So set authentication profile name is the command, and you have to specify name of the profile as my profile. After this, what we need to configure is we need to specify the name of the interface on which we want to enable the 802.1x protocol. According to the case study, we need to enable it on the interface GE0/0/22.0, and then you have to specify that supplicant mode is going to be the single supplicant. There are multiple modes available for the supplicants, but we are going to discuss only single supplicant mode in this video. Okay. After that, we have an option of configuring the re-authentication time for the user who is basically trying to authenticate through this GE0/0/22 port. Set interface GE0/0/22.0 re-authentication and specify the value of re-authentication time in seconds, 3600 seconds. So these are the steps which we need to configure under the added protocols.1x authenticator hierarchy. After that, we just need to go to top. Okay, before committing your changes, go ahead and verify your configuration by using the command commit check. Configuration check succeeds, then go ahead and do a commit. After committing, you can go ahead and verify your configuration by using a command run show.1x interface detail. The output of this particular command will go ahead and give you the information that .1x is enabled on GE0/0/22. The role is authenticator, administrative state is auto, the supplicant mode is single as per our configuration, and the configured re-authentication interval is 3600 seconds. This is what we have configured under the added protocols hierarchy. Okay. Now, go ahead and verify the configuration by running the command run show configuration, and you can directly jump onto the protocols and the access hierarchy. So these are the interfaces. Okay, this is the place where you can see the configuration for your protocols. Added protocols.1x and the name of the profile which we created. Okay, the interface on which we have enabled the 802.1x with a single supplicant mode and with a re-authentication time value of 3600 seconds. Then we have the added access hierarchy where we have configured the radius server parameter. This is the IP address, this is the port number, and this is the secret key value. Then we have created a profile. Inside the profile we have specified the authentication order as radius, okay, and we have specified the authentication server IP address as 1.1.1. okay. The final configuration will be looking like something this in the video for your case study. So this is going to be the final configuration, the completed case study configuration. Protocols, under the protocol you have specified .1x, then you have specified the authenticator you have specified the name of the profile, then the name of the interface on which you want to enable 802.1x, then the mode of your supplicant as single, then re-authentication timeout value as 3600 seconds. Then under access hierarchy we have specified the radius server, port number, the secret key, the profile name, and the profile name has the authentication order as well as the IP address of the authentication server. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing.